G'day and welcome to Brewster Brews. Today, Beatnik, another brew dog recipe, or forget the crazy name, it's just an Imperial Red Ale, which it's quite a straightforward recipe, this one. I'm looking forward to making this because it's simple. I'm not going Marisota, I'm just using a base malt, I'm not sure what sort, it's just a pale malt. So 6.25 kilos of base malt, 660 grams of Munich, and 345 grams of dark crystal. So there shouldn't be a lot of body to this beer, but it should taste quite nice. And then the hops will run through those later because, as usual, I don't actually have Simcoe. I've changed that out for something because my local doesn't have Simcoe. Anyways, so we're looking at 75 minutes for this one today. Something very exciting about today. I got myself a proper temperature controller. I am sick and tired of running up and down stairs going, what the hell's going on? I've got no faith. I had no faith in this little guy. Apparently these are really good if you're going to use them in a fridge for fermenting and stuff like that. But I reckon I've just cooked the temperature probes when they're hitting, when you're hitting 78 degrees and it's plastic and it's not something U-Butte and robust like this Keg King one. I feel like that's where it's falling down. But anyways, like straight away, I'm looking at it and going, sweet, 65.7, 66. This is a couple of degree or so over. I need to calibrate that anyway. But to calibrate it, you've got to pull the whole friggin' thing out and move a little dial on the back. But I just compensate. I know what it is. So 65 degrees for 75 minutes. And there's no such thing as too much temperature control. I've also still got my little wireless one from Bunnings. And it's also got the timer on it, so I can keep an eye on it while I'm upstairs or doing other things around the house. Another very exciting thing about this guy is the gauge is bigger. So now, I can be sitting on the couch watching telly, and I can actually read that. I'm a little bit short-sighted and I can read that without my specs on, so I'm cheering. Now I can sit here and watch the most boring sport in the world, tennis. I don't even know why it's on that channel. It's like somebody's trying to tease me. Anyways, sorry to the tennis fans out there. I'm sure there are tennis fans somewhere in the world. It's quite a big sport. I am not one of them. And of course, once the 75 minutes is up, we'll bring the temp up to 78 degrees and sparge with the old pour 5 litres of wort into my measuring cup, and then pouring the rest into the no chill cube, and then that 5 litres will rotate through the mash, and I'll do that 5 times. I'm actually thinking about getting a wort pump. That would make that so much easier. And then I can do the proper whirlpool at the end. I don't really get a very good whirlpool in this because there's the temperature probe is sticking out in the middle of the tank, and yeah, it's just a bit messy. Alright, so that's all in. Let's try and pack it all down. I feel like I don't have enough water today, which is a bit weird. The grain bill's not enormous, it's not small either, but I guess we'll find out. It's alright, we will be stirring. We will be stirring. Get her up to 100 and we'll chuck the hops in. Water is boiling. We are almost there. Hops today. So as usual, I've just modified the hop list. We've replaced things with substitutes and adjusted the figures a little bit to match up the alpha acids for bittering. The rest is just for flavour and aroma, so it's no biggie. It's going to be, I think it's going to be nice, this Imperial Red Ale. I'm looking forward to trying this out. Anyways, without further ado, so we've got for the 60 minutes, we've got 40 grams of Magnum, and at the 20-minute mark, sorry, at the 40-minute mark with 20 to go, we'll be putting in 15 of Centennial, and then at flame out, the 0 minutes, we'll be going 15 of Centennial and 15 of Magnum. So only 2 hops in this one today. Nice and straightforward. So we'll give him a good dunk. Make sure all those hops are nice and wet, which they are. We'll tuck him in there and start the clock. Start. 40 minutes. 5 past 6, just in case I bump this, which I tend to do. You bump it or you drop it and it resets, and don't know what I've done. So yeah, that's it. We'll once that's done, we'll try and give it some sort of a whirlpool. Break up these clumps. These clumps seem to just, I don't know, it turns into like little stringy bits. I'm not really, it's just from sitting there boiling. I had to boil it down a little bit because it was a little bit too hot. Sorry, not too hot. Too much volume. Wanted to get it down to about 25 litre mark. It's currently at about 27, so a lot of that should boil off over the next hour. So yeah, once we've done all the hop additions, I'll try and do a bit of a whirlpool just to mix all the hops in and capture all that flavour. And then we shall be draining it. I'll sterilise the cube, drain it all in. 24 hours from now, as long as I don't get too busy at home or at work, I shall chuck that in the fermenter and we'll get some washed yeast going. And for anybody wondering what washed yeast is, it's this stuff here. I've got a video describing how all this works, but yeah, basically you got your little layer of sediment, so it's like leftover bits of hop and dead yeast cells. This white layer is like the good yeast cells that are alive and ready to go, and then here's just the watered down beer from where I've done the wash. But I did these just yesterday. I plan to use them all this week, so I'm going to make another 2 batches after this Imperial Red Ale, and yeah, that's my yeast ready to go. So the old Imperial Red Ale has been sitting in the no-chill cube, getting no-chilled for about 3 weeks. We had a bit of a heat wave in Canberra. It was a bit of a shocker, and I didn't want to put this guy on at 22 degrees when the recipe states 19. It's currently 20 in the, what's this place called? This magical place? A cellar. So now it's time. Still smells good. So usual story, I've sanitised my sifter, sanitised the fermenter, sanitised the, what's that other thing called, you know, the thing, the hydrometer, so that I don't waste any beer and I can just put it all back in when I'm done testing it. So we're up to our 25 litres. I forgot to buy more dextrose from the shop. I used almost all of it in my sour beer. All good. It's just going to be a bit of a lightweight Imperial, this one. It's not too bad. It's still looking like it's about 1060. Yeah, I might just call that 1060. 1060 with a final gravity of 1013. That'll be about 6% off the top of my head. I'm probably way off. Righto. And I'm going to use the washed yeast for this one. I do have a video about how this was all done. So this is just a matter of, so we've got our layer of watered down beer, we've got our layer of yeast, which is that nice white layer, and then you've got the sediment layer down the very bottom, which is that yellowy layer. So we'll just gently try and get rid of the watery beer layer until you can see that yeast sediment just starting to come into the thing. Ignore that other bit in there, that's a bit of a SCOBY out of my sour beer that I had to fish out. So anyways, we'll give this guy a bit of a wash. Put him in there like so. Try and get all that yeast out, all that yeasty goodness. That'll do. Lid on. We'll come back in, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. Probably 2 weeks and I'll start testing this guy, just being a red ale. Don't want it sitting around for too long. And a bit of sanitizer, star sand in the airlock, and we're done. Beatnik Imperial Red Ale, thank you very much. I look forward to drinking you. Oh, and no dry hopping. I'm going to do a red ale with no dry hops because I've got a couple of red ales now with dry hops, and I just wanted to have one that was different to see, do I really need the dry hops? They're expensive, let's be honest. Anywho's, thanks for watching.